Okay, so let me ask you that first. What years was he here?
He was here between 61 and 81.
Very good. What were those years like for him? What did he relate to you when he would come back home, or when you maybe went along and saw him at these appearances? What was that like?
He was in heaven. That was his life. He loved it. He loved the kids. He loved entertaining. He was never off camera. Never off camera. And it was our kids that went with him on trips. And so the grandkids got to grow up with he and Mom going on little trips and stuff to be Mombo and Max when they had shows out of town.
He telling tales out of school, it was always strange for me because I was a little kid going to Olivet Presbyterian Church.
Really?
When Fred would walk in and my mom would say, "That's Mombo," and I'd go, "No, it's not. That can't be Mombo." But like I said,
and then he would open his mouth and talk.
Yes, and you would go, "Okay, now I'm totally confused." But what was that like being the daughter? Did you almost feel like you had to share dad with the entire
Oh, we
town?
always had to share. We would take them out to eat supper. Bob, my husband Bob and I, we'd take them out to eat supper, and we would get to talking, and somebody would recognize his voice, and they'd all start pointing. And somebody would maybe come over to the table and they'd say, "Are you Mombo?" And he'd say, "No, I'm Mayor Canny." That was his famous ad lib.
I'm Mayor Don Canny.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Right.
That's hilarious. So, did you probably over the years saw the transformation hundreds of times with the makeup and the hat and everything take place, right?
I'll tell you a funny one is that our youngest kids didn't believe that Mombo was their grandpa. So Mom's idea was, Fred, go in the bathroom and start putting on your makeup so that they can see that and then come out with your full face on. And he did, and they all started screaming and crying, "Put my grandpa back, put my grandpa back."
A last question, I guess, and that is, did you get the feeling, and you kind of alluded to it, but did you get the feeling that being on the Dr. Max show and the exposure that he got from that was one of the highlights of his life?
Oh, I'm sure it was. I mean, when the show ended, it took a little piece out of his life. And he still went around as Mombo at birthday parties and scouting dinners and parades and things and picnics that groups had him at. But yeah, he missed that day-to-day banter back and forth with Max.